And I'll add another video. Been a little while since I've had any news on Australia, my peeps in Australia. This is from Mish Talk, actually, Mike Shedlock. Financial hell, 57% in Australia cannot afford an extra $100 if interest rates rise, stress in wealthiest areas. So in other words, 57% of the people in Australia could not afford even an additional $100 added to their mortgage. It'd be too much. But we're going to start normalizing, across the globe. We're going to start normalizing rates and start to raise rate. Housing bubble? We're not in a housing bubble. It's back up to where it was. Yeah, it was a bubble then, and it's a bubble now. Absolutely. Excuse me. But people got to live. You can't stop. You got to people are buying houses. They're getting married. They're having kids. They can't stay at home. Whatever time period you're in when you got to get a house, you got to get it. So if you're in bubble territory and you buy a house, you're going to be screwed. Sorry about your luck, though. It's your time. Take one for the team. Of course, if the market's down and you time to buy a house, you're loving life. And you'll be out there raking the leaves, raking the leaves, little blower. Yeah, I got my homeowner. Blow the leaves on my homeowner, baby. While your neighbors who got in at the high are looking at who's this schmuck, who's this riffraff that moved in next to us. Get about that damn smile off your freaking face. Oh my God, I got freaking adjustable rate mortgage. Oh man, it's going up $250 a month. Honey, we can't afford this. What are we going to do? Well, the market's going to have to come down. Equalization. Okay? It's coming. I still stand strong. Housing market has got to come down. We've seen little spurts of it here and there, of course, but if you tell somebody that you can't add $100 to their mortgage a month, basically $100 to their bills, whatever they have a month, that it'll crush them. That's it. I can't, I'm going to start missing payments on things. That means every damn thing is too high. Or one or two things is way too high. Everything else might be manageable and okay. And if those one or two things that are too high happen to be the most expensive things you spend your money on every month, then those things have to come down. And they will. And that one thing, of course, I'm talking about is housing, rent, mortgage, whatever it is. And the second one, a car payment. But at least with the car payment, you can opt to get a used car, 5, 6, 7 years old, 10 years old, whatever it is, and get a much lesser payment. But that's not the American way. It's probably not the Australian way. It's not the Western world way. Go big or go home. I want a new car. I don't want an old car. And I don't want some stupid junky little Kia. I want a damn Lexus or, Range Rover. Like father, like son, like government, like sheeple. But, anyways. A new study shows 57% of Australia mortgage holders could not handle a $100 increase in their loan repayment. Stress has turned out, and again, I realize this is about Australia because the survey was done in Australia. Be rest assured, if the survey was done, the study was done in any Western world, including our own here in America. I don't know the exact numbers, but you could be rest assured there would be enough of a percentage to make you say, wow, people in America couldn't even afford $100 extra. Wow. Trust me on that one. We all do the same stuff. Central bank, printing money, borrows at interest. We don't have the principal to pay back. They don't print the interest. They only print the principal, so we can never get out of debt. It's like impossible. How's that, And that's the system we use. It's the system all of the Western world uses. It is what it is. Which is why all these problems start to build up like a bottle. Shake the bottle and then let that cap off. Boom. Ooh, what just happened? Don't know. But it ain't going to be pretty. Stress has turned up in even the wealthiest cities, it says. But who is truly wealthy? Paper profits on homes with enormous mortgages does not constitute wealth, right? Let's give an example. You bought a house, 20, 30 years ago. $100,000. 2006, 7, 8, it's worth $500,000. Today, again, we had the crash, came back. It's worth 600, a little higher. 600,000 today. You sell the house because again, you still have a mortgage, right? You still got to pay the mortgage off. And what do we do? Many times we leave one house. Oh, I got to get a bigger house or a nicer house, or better, this area sucks. I got to get out of here. And ultimately, it's rare that you take the money out of your house, the equity, sold off, the mortgage is paid off. We got an extra such and such amount of money out of this. Let's go get this newer house. Oh, wait a minute. To get what we used to have, we need $800,000. It's in a nicer area. It is a little, yeah, it's definitely nicer than the house we have, but it's out of the area we want to get away from. But it's $800,000 today. So what does that mean? You take your little profits. Well, we walked away with $300,000. Okay, 800 minus 300, you're back down to 500,000. But before you had a $100,000 house. See, today now to get what you had, now you need to hawk up or get a mortgage on 500,000 and hand the bank 300,000 of your hard-earned money to get a $500,000 mortgage. So again, who's truly wealthy? Now, if you took your $300,000 profit and started living on the streets, or maybe a dumpy trailer somewhere, right? You gotta get them cheap. So I was gonna say a dumpy trailer. Get a dumpy trailer really cheap. Then now you're living. Now you're rich. Now you're wealthy. Honey, we just put $50K into this trailer, $20K in the land. We're in at $70K. We're living like kings. We are wealthy, right? You could say that. But is that where someone wants to live? Was that your dream home? Was that, you know what I mean? Like most people, to be fair, their dream home isn't a trailer. And I used the word dumpy trailer a second ago on purpose to make the example. But even there's some beautiful, nice looking trailers, don't get me wrong. But I guarantee if you asked everybody who owns even a really nice trailer, if you had the opportunity for the same exact price to build concrete foundation, brick, block house, whatever, such and such, the same size, dimensions, whatever, maybe the same floor plan. Would you rather have that or would you rather have your trailer? And when I say trailer, manufactured home, let me be clear. No one's going to knowingly, right? By the way, I lived in a manufactured home. And it was I wouldn't say it was dumpy, but it wasn't like brand new. Let me just say that. When I was in Tennessee. And I ain't no shame in my game. I'll freely admit it. We had to move up there, needed a place, yada, 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 etc. So I'm not like cracking down on anybody by saying that. I lived in a 4-bedroom, 1-bath trailer. Got pipes coming up from the floor. It's wintertime and massively cold air is coming in. What the hell? It's freezing in here. So let me get some foam and foam up the holes over here, foam up those pipes over there, fix some of the cold issues. You know what I mean? But again, if you would, Joe, why'd you pick that property when the one right next door to it with the same acreage, same price, has a 4-bedroom, 1-bath house, brick house, right? Wouldn't make sense. So, point that he's making by that statement is why I'm saying all this is: are we, who's truly wealthy? How do you be wealthy when I sold my house and I'm going to go take the profit and get in the new house? But to get into the new house, you can't take that profit from the old house. That'll buy you a fraction of the new house you need. So you got to get back into debt. Get a mortgage. Make that payment, right? Which is why, in all honesty, find a freaking house, if possible, that you plan on staying in the rest of your life. That way, when you pay it off and all that, and you got you got the full equity in it, you don't want to do nothing anyways. Hey, I'm debt free. Now you're wealthy. No mortgage, car payment. Maybe you have one, maybe you don't. Fine. Who cares about that? No mortgage. Not to mention your health insurance is now your new mortgage anyways. So now you got a second mortgage called health insurance. Don't even get me started on that. Anyways, a staggering 57% of mortgage holders could not handle a $100 increase in their loan repayments, according to new research by finder.com.au, again, Australia. The additional $100 is equivalent to an interest rate hike of just 0.45%, based on the national average mortgage of $360,600. This means the average standard variable rate of and did you catch that? Variable rate of 4.83% would only have to rise to 5.28% to put more than half of mortgage holders in stress. The typical mortgage holder will begin to struggle once interest rates reach around 5.28%, That's a pretty small window before borrowing costs start to hurt, she said. With the research also showing that 39% of all mortgages are interest only. What? Now that's bothersome. An interest only mortgage? You don't pay the damn principal off. What? Why are these people doing this? Why would you dare do something like this to yourself and your family? Interest only. I'll give you the answer. I think I know. I'll say that. It's the cheapest way for us to get inside of a house of any kind of decent quality. I can't afford anything more than this, getting a conventional or whatever normal mortgage. We can't afford what that comes out to. But if I do an interest only, I'm able to make those payments. Let me just say this. I don't care if I was in that situation. Oh, well, I got to justify. Yeah, but let's just get the interest only. Throw a Hail Mary and hope that I'll get a huge raise at work one day and then maybe we can refinance for a better, I would not be in any kind of interest only mortgage like, I don't know, ever. You want to make a payment for like forever? That's it. That's what you're doing. Kids left you the house. Oh, all right, sweet. And you got the mortgage with it forever. Unless you change it now, and God knows what it'll be worth then. How much you'll have to come up with, what the insane house price might be at that point. We could have been through 2 or 3 boom bust cycles, and it might be on the boom cycle. And now you're sitting on whatever, high cost house you got that Papa and Mama left you that you're just ready to walk from. The hell with that. Let the bank have it. Forget this thing. This thing's 30 years, 50 years, 60 years old. Who knew how old it was when you first bought it? That's a 60-year-old house. The bank have that turd. And the bank's going to have that turd and realize we got a freaking turd. Although we made interest on it for the past 30 whatever years, we made our money back and then some. So we can afford to walk away. Hang on. Yes, that was Papa Snip Forecon. Anyways, let me continue on this thing. It's amazing how one little disruption in the force, if you will, would be so devastating to massive amounts of people. With the research also showing that 39% of all mortgages are interest only, this highlights why the Reserve Bank of Australia and the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority have shown some concern, she added. Comparing gender, 63% of women and 50% of men would struggle to repay their mortgages with an increase of less than $100 per month. Across the states, South Australian borrowers were the worst placed with 70% saying they could not handle an increase of less than $100 per month. This figure was lower in New South Wales, Tasmania, and Western Australia at 59%, and further dropped to 51% in Victoria, which of course still sucks. Stress in wealthiest areas also consider severe mortgage stress is cropping up in some of Australia's richest suburbs, according to their link here. Severe mortgage stress is cropping up in some of Australia's richest suburbs, revealing that wealthy Australians have been guzzling at the debt fountain. Thousands of households in suburbs like Mosman, Brighton, and Nedlands are in mortgage stress, with some at risk of mortgage default in the next 12 months. According to new data from Digital Financial Analytics, wealth is impossible to see if the person doesn't want to flaunt it, and easy enough to fake. You can mortgage yourself to buy a grand home and a car to match and have the trappings of wealth while actually being so far in debt, you're in financial hell. Looking rich and being rich are not the same thing at all. But when times are good, it's difficult to tell the difference. As the saying goes, when the tide goes out, you see who's not wearing any swimmers. Financial hell is coming. When the top finally blows off the Australian housing bubble, the results will be devastating. Mike Mish Shedlock. And again, I have to be, fair to the rest of us. Australia is not this crazy one-off weird country. They do what we do. We do what they do. We live how they live, and they live how we live. This is the westernized world today. Western boys and Western girls. Mm, 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 mm. Remember that one? Remember that jam from the 80s? Western boys and Western girls. Yeah. Western debt slaves and, well, Western debt slave boys and Western debt slave girls. Maybe how I should say it. Because again, such and such percent women, such and such percent men. It was all in there. Everybody's the same. A little worse for the women, according to their stat. But what's the difference? 60%, 50%? Who cares? It's big enough that it sucks. So how does this end? How does all of this end? I've been doing these videos for years. And you can see this, it's just, yeah, it ain't fast. It's not something that, oh shoot, I gotta prepare right now. It's coming next year. No. But I definitely saw it back then. And I did think it would be here sooner. We'd have worse problems sooner, which got me in gear to get things done. Joe, do what you gotta do, man. Stop playing games and bullcrap and toys and, man, nope. Start putting some money away in silver. Do that, okay. All of a sudden, cryptos come out. Oh my gosh, here's a fantastic way to make tons of money, which again helps things. If I can get this damn house paid off in a hurry, I almost don't even care what happens. Oh, this happened, that went up, that. So what? I don't have any debt. The cars are paid off. The house is paid off, right? That's the name of the damn game. But it's damn near impossible to do unless you've got this incredible business and you hit the floor running or hit the door running. Hit the floor, door, whatever. Pick your one. Hit the floor and then the door running. And you got this newfound wealth and life is good, great. Use that and get out of debt. But that is extremely the exception to the rule. Most of us, we work, we know what we get every week. It's the same pay every week. I've got this bill, I've got that bill. And most all of us, this is just the way it is. I hate to tell everybody, people are people, so why should we see? Anyways. People are people. And no matter how little you make at your job or how much you make at your job, your lifestyle directly reflects upon that. You will get as much as you can, live as high as you can with what you get coming in pay-wise. So you're going to get the nicest car you can afford. You'll get the nicest house you can afford at your pay level. Which means even someone who you are jealous or envious of or whatever, they're living in a twice as expensive house as you. Their cars are 2 or 3 times more expensive than yours. Man, I wish I had that. I wish I could live like that, dude. Him and his wife, man, they're freaking, gosh, I wish I had that. And guess what? They have more debt than you do. And they have to pay it off around the same time that you do. So you're both in debt. One bad, move in their life. I lost my job, whatever. You're both affected the same. Isn't that amazing? None of us can afford, here's the reason why. None of us can afford to say, well, I'm going to live as best I can with what I got coming in. So let me take that down a notch, maybe 2, and live even more reasonably. Less flashier car, less flashier house, so that I know I could easily make those payments, get them paid off faster than normal, have a little soft cushion space should any bad financial thing happen, right? Nobody does that because number one, most of us live paycheck to paycheck, would take you down to where, okay, I can't get any less of a house, so to speak. I'll be in the ghetto. I can't go any lower. I'll be in the ghetto. Or simply put, in a bad neighborhood that I refuse to live in. So I've got to live up here to the max of my ability and just deal with whatever, blows are thrown my way and dodge and whatever, Which is a sucky place. That's why we're the commoners. We're not the elite. We're not the financial elite. We're not the banksters. We are the commoners. But I found a way to take most of us away from commoner status if we can play these cryptocurrencies just right. And you don't have to be perfect either. So that's why I focus a lot on it. And I will continue focusing a lot on these cryptos. I could have bought a lot more expensive house than I did, by the way. I could have told Evelyn, pay off your van. No, trade it in and get a nicer one, newer one. My old 2-year-old car, which I got for $10,000, Nissan Leaf, $30,000 car. Joe, man, why don't you get a Tesla? Joe, go get a Tesla, man. No, that's okay. I'll drive my little sissy Nissan Leaf around. My wife will drive her, I was about to say Dodge Caravan, same company, Chrysler Town and Country. And she loves that van. It's a good van. But could I want a bit bigger and badder on the house? Technically, yeah. I could have. Why? If I'm in a position that I don't have to do that, where, man, if I don't get this house, I'm going to live near the ghetto. Well, in that case, I might have been one of the people I just described to you. But I'm in a position, and I know a lot of people are too, to where we don't have to live at the absolute top. Let's take it down a few notches. Be reasonable. I found this beautiful property. I had to pounce on it to make this happen. I don't plan on leaving. This is like my spot. This is going to be our house. Could things change in the future? Kids grow up, they move out. Evelyn, do we need such a larger house now? No, it's time. Yeah, you paid it off with those cryptos back in 2018. Who cares? Even if we take a beating now, the market's been going down year after year for like forever. It's now worth half what we paid for. Well, it's paid off. We paid it off immediately, right? Or not immediately, but quick. Again, assuming I can pull this off, I'm just saying that. But we have, again, the old saying, live within your means. But in all fairness, how does one live within their means when if they try to do that, they find themselves in a very bad neighborhood, house getting broken into, cars getting broken into, kids getting in fights, with the riffraff in the neighborhood. You got to get the hell out of there. And in order to get the hell out of there, I'm going to struggle. I got to work 2 jobs. You're back there again. Which is why we have the political system we have today. Pay to play everywhere you go. Change the rules for the corporations. They got loopholes for taxes. You don't. They can offshore their accounts. Nothing ever bad will happen to them. You'll hear of no arrests of these people not paying taxes. No. Al Sharpton or whatever, remember back in the Obama days. And matter of fact, including, I think, Rahm Emanuel. Way back behind on his taxes. No problem for him. IRS didn't put a lien on his property. They didn't go after Rahm. No, he's one of the guys. But you schmuck, who may live in that dumpy trailer I talked about, God help you. You don't pay those taxes. I'll put a lien on that trailer so fast and the property, it'll make your head spin. Which is why I'm grasping at any way around this current system to try to better my life and my family's for the future. And cryptocurrencies have been enabling me to do that. For all the people who still don't want to mess with those things, I'm telling you. Even if they crash and burn today, I already got mine. I already won. Which is another reason why I tell you guys, don't be scared to take a profit. Well, it's only up 4 times. I think it might go up to 7 or 8. Okay. And you might be right. But if you took the 4 to 5 times profit today, would that recover most of what you have into these things? Well, yeah, it would actually. And you still got the other ones? Yes. Take a freaking profit. And if you don't have any precious metals, throw a little of the profit into the precious metals. Plain and simple. Have a little bit. Start. I gotta have both. But anyway, so yeah. And on that note, if you do happen to decide you want to start getting into precious metals at some point, go to sdbullion.com/jsnip4. That link is in the description box of all my videos towards the bottom. Get a 10-ounce bar of silver at spot price. At flipping spot price, which is incredible. But that's for new customers only. Again, if I was new to this, I would have started stacking at least a little bit and playing the crypto game at the same time. I wouldn't have gone heavily into silver like right now if I just started. I'd be going heavily into cryptos and a bit into silver and saying, oh my gosh, when I make a profit on that crypto and that one, I can now buy even more silver, right? And throw a little bit of profit that way. Or there's new ICOs coming out, new cryptos. I might want to take a little bit of the profit, buy some silver, hang on to some more profit, and get it ready for the next ICO I think is going to be a good one or whatever, right? So whatever. Anyways, this is for everybody. Financial hell is coming. When the top finally blows off the Australian housing bubble, the results will be devastating. Take that phrase and put it in your respective country because it's the same. Take care.